Okay, so look, the funds have been released, trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars have been already released, okay? This is how you get it to avoid any chaos, okay? We're going to need you to understand how you're gonna be getting funded per project, right? So you can YouTube training wholesaling, finding vacant land. Builders need land to build on so they can keep getting paid, right? Mortgage companies are partnered with contractors and builders, so they have great networking, right? And you can always double close here in Texas, which is a great way to network with agents and also make sure that you guys are being paid fairly, right? So you can be funded through your services that you provide, right? Your services and goods. Each project is how you will remain funded, right? So we can have groups of 6 with some contractors building after you sell the land. You buy the land, example, you buy the land for 30,000, put it under contract. You come at it as a private investor. You resell the contract to the mortgage company for 40,000. That's $10,000, right? So that the mortgage company is gonna pay you. After the mortgage company pays for the land, they send out builders to build on the land, right? So you need people accepted, right? Regardless of credit, they just need to work. The house gets paid for, right? So how are we going to make sure that everybody is under a healthy roof over their head? Because if they're not, then it becomes a health risk and illnesses become airborne. And it's pretty much like toxifying yourself and poisoning yourself and your loved ones if you're having all of these restrictions on why somebody can't afford a luxury home when we're all putting the same work in and there's other people putting more work in there. So let's be fair. You can have memberships of a lifetime that last the whole lifetime. You don't really necessarily have to set that price of just sold price of a new construction home of $500,000. Instead, you can set it as that. It doesn't matter what the individual is going to be paying per month. Just make it fair and make it equal opportunity to where they can afford to at least pay like $1,000 a month, right? That should be your go-to, like at least $800 a month, $1,000 a month, and they can live in a nice, luxurious home. Think about your health, okay, and your great relationships, okay? It's very important. I go down a mile and I see a bunch of broken down houses, houses that are getting old. As older the houses get, they collect harmful debris and it becomes a health risk. So YouTube also fix and flips, right? When you eliminate all of the mathematic problems, whether it be evaluating the market value of that targeted location, when you offer that contract of land or a home that needs to be fixed, contractors, investors will definitely appreciate that. It's tons of time that's saved and they want to keep getting paid. They want to keep having a great life, which is why they offer funds, right? Private money lending, private investors, they really, when they see no risk in the deal, because we're obviously knowing that even if we have a bunch of people involved, it's still not enough. Even if everybody is involved, it's still going to be very important to remain constant because houses keep on collecting harmful debris. So please understand that. You can also, that's how you're going to also, that's literally the main focus on how you're going to get funded for bigger projects. You see all of these builders and constructors right now, right? Now it's to the point where now you know how to fund yourselves, and now it's to the point where we need builders to accumulate the same knowledge and structure and firmness and safety, and labor workers to do the job right? And YouTube has all of this knowledge for you, right? So what is 30 minutes to 25 minutes a day during your day after work? And I'm talking to all government officials, military, law, border patrol with the detainees, right? This is the only effective way to keep yourselves healthy and funded, and also adapt to make your wages way more higher anytime new businesses thrive, wages and the economy fluctuates. This is how you're always going to be great. Like, you won't even feel like any difference. You'll always remain great standings, okay? So, yeah, that's how you're gonna keep on living. You make sure what's in front of you is gonna be great and healthy, and you lead. So what is 25 minutes to 30 minutes a day? You go on YouTube and they teach you how to build from start to finish, right? Fix and flip. They teach you how to get funded. They teach you if you don't have the proper funding, they teach you how to gain commission off your services and fees that you provide. Okay? So they can be healthy and you can be healthy. And when we're over here in on vacation, we don't want like the houses that we're in, getting like bugged. We don't want them falling on us. When a storm hits, you don't want the house like flying with the wind. So when everybody's involved, everything remains healthy, and you'll always have a good day instead of hearing about he say, she say, and then assuming when they're probably being provoked after they made so and so a target. And dude, you don't even know these things. Like, an innocent person can look so guilty in these ways and things that you don't even know, like somebody else's motive, right? So this is why it's important for everybody to remain together and involved. Why? For our health, making sure everybody's getting paid equally, making sure we're up to date on how much it is to be clothed, how much it is to get medications, how much it is to afford food, how much it is to be well groomed and keep up a great hygiene, how much it is for gym expenses, telephone, Wi-Fi. All of this needs to be considered for healthcare mandatory guidelines where everybody needs to afford all of these luxuries, because what does Wi-Fi and communication do? It keeps us healthy communicated. So people isolate themselves and they go out into the world and then they freak out of life. So that's why it's important where even when past due payments and past due payments on vehicles, past due payments on cell phones, internet, um, right? Anything past due, they give you a 3 month span, and that's longer than it used to be, right? It used to be only like for a month, right? Until like, cause anything can happen, that people are not controlled over, right? So we have that 3 month period to where you will be like forgiven, right? In a sense, to where like we know things happen and it's out of our control sometimes. So staying connected is healthy, you know. So we won't like so we can keep in the know. Any weather that happens, you'll always be in the know. um, any regulations, rules, or any education that the people really need to know, you'll always be in the know. And of course, like to even live means you have to like work to eat. Like every single day, somebody eats. You know, we all eat, we all shower, we all communicate together. You know, our clothes collect um, dirt and stuff over time. Even when you wash it, it'll collect through the sewings. So every time the people have to afford all of these things that keep us alive, you know. Um, so that's how you're going to get funded, through project. And don't be in a rush. Don't feel like you need to be in a rush with it, but you're gonna start today, okay? Any time you have, whether it be after work, or in the gym with some earphones, you're gonna YouTube 25 to 30 minutes a day. I learned when I learned in I would say I learned like in a month, every single day watching. It only takes 21 days to change into a good habit, into a great habit. So that's very powerful to know. That saying is very powerful to know. Um, and I became a pro at real estate, construction. I do have my background and my resume is you know um, in great relations, experts in great relations with the people, military, border patrol, making sure they're healthy, law enforcement, making sure they're fed and they're being taken care of well, because if something happens to them, it happens to us, right? You can't be careless with them, then they're gonna get careless with everybody else, and you were the problem because you chose to think you were better than them, and that's not the case. You don't know their life and upbringing and the things they had to go through. So maybe some people carry that potency of God that's going to give them their privacy in life. You don't have to be offended if somebody doesn't wave back at you or they don't smile when you smile. Maybe that's their peace. Maybe right now they're exhausted from their day-to-day activities. That's their peace. That's your peace. That's someone's peace. All of that, you think it's going to be like a disturbance feeling, but that's someone's peace, and that's going to give them life and you guys privacy. Um, So, right, let's make sure we stay healthy, because I know a lot of people barely recovered, and especially when the pandemic happened, people are just now recovering because we act very immediately with all of our healthcare professionals and government, right? Which is a great helping hand. And I mean, we all know the importance of keeping each other, healthy and cared for. Look at since you were born till now, right? The ones before us made it very convenient for us to be successful with all the knowledge to lay out, right? And this caring can't stop with us. So just make sure that you remain constant in this education, and it's not free for no reason, because we understand the importance of being cared for with the same knowledge and care and expertise when we're out on vacation, overseas, anywhere, even in our own country. We want to make sure that everybody's going to be properly funded, because then they start a business, and then once it reaches the world, it goes like wildfire, like it just. And then it's when you have to stop production, it can be a headache and a hassle, and there's tons of lives that can be affected, and it can like poison yourself, it can poison them. So this is why it's important to remain firm on all of our consumption as well too, right? So everybody needs to be involved in doing the same duties. Waiters, you're gonna wait with us. You're gonna customer service with us. You're gonna cook with us, clean with us. You're gonna build with us. You're gonna be a helping hand with us. You're gonna educate with us. You're gonna also be put in position to where you're gonna teach the new life coming in, and you're gonna pass down all of your knowledge to them as well too, right? Or else when you become unable, when you get older, you're gonna pray that you were taken care of with the same firmness and same compassion, right? Because when you're on your last breath, right, you're gonna want somebody to immediately give you that medicine. You're gonna want somebody to immediately alleviate that pain that you're feeling, right? Which is why you should appreciate, I don't care how much it sounds, you can always see that somebody means well. They're trying to express themselves in the best way they can, but I know everybody means well. So give yourself some time to understand each other and just to be there for one another, because it's already like embedded in us already, to where we already enjoy each other's company either way. So so all your problems are solved, to be honest. So you already know how to get funded, and all of my other videos explain, and of course you're gonna make it better with all your great ideas, because like you will never fail God, right? God every single time. Every person is God, every animal is God, everything is God, right? I mean, or else who made the first person, right? It doesn't matter what you go through in life, know that God is bigger than that. I don't care if how convincing it may sound that you're at risk of not having a great life. Well, God is bigger than that. We're all new here. Keep that in mind. We are all new here, and God didn't stop 1,000 years ago. God didn't stop at the Bible. The Bible establishes the firmness, the unity, and look at how all of our families remain together in peace and love and good acts of kindness, leading by example, the right way, you know. And this is how all of our beautiful agencies and government officials became funded, with the people side by side, working together, being a helping hand, making sure that, hey, we're gonna make sure you're great, that you're fed, you're taken care of, you're gonna have a great roof over your head, because if you don't, I know I'm gonna be at risk then with my health, and I'm going down just as you go down, because I lacked the education of making sure that you were okay. So you have to be okay and healthy so I can also be great and healthy. If somebody has those hidden motives of only thinking about them, well, I mean, this is how you think about yourself the right way. If you want to be there for yourself and your loved ones and your family the right way and healthy way, you make sure that what's in front of you is great first. And that's gonna obviously, like, automatically, like, have you have a great life, right? Because there's no escape from doing the same tasks and duties that we need every single day to keep on living, right? Because you deserve like a good Christmas every year. You deserve a happy Halloween every year. And Halloween is literally a celebration of life, right? How are you going to appreciate the present day if you don't know what happens if you don't be kind to one another? So it's all educational, right? So I can't have you just out here saying, hey, go Jesus Christ, go Romans, when in reality every name is God's name, whether it be Satan, the devil. These are many faces of God, right? Some are short-lived, some are great and welcoming, right? Just know, any circumstance, anywhere life takes you, you're always going to be with God. God every turn. All right. So that is the truth. Again, I'm Mr. Roman from the Bible. And, God speaks to all of us very directly. Sometimes, it's like, you should feel like really blessed. Because I do. And I know you do too. But in order to keep on living a great life, you have to be there for each other. And, educate one another. Don't play games with what's in front of you, right? Because you're only hurting yourself. We're establishing the firmness on all of our consumption, making sure you keep on living a great, happy life, unbothered, right? Because everyone deserves their healthy, alone time, privacy with their loved ones, whoever it may be, So I definitely don't want anybody to be going through it in secret, because they don't deserve that. We don't deserve that. I definitely don't want it for myself and my family. Anyways, like, pure life and just existing itself can be very, like, life-threatening if somebody is always like focused on somebody else's life that's not theirs. So God will handle them, personally, So, you're gonna love your life. It's just like gonna be like one of those, you're just gonna have to get used to that new routine, and everything cleaner, everyone getting more beautifuler and healthier, you know. It's gonna be such a great life that you're gonna love. And you already know God, and with all of us, makes it way more better. You know, and we're gonna follow the same healthy patterns on the next planet. And after we conquer it with success on the next planet, then on to the next planet. Um, so all of us accumulating the same knowledge in engineering, everybody equally educated in military training, law enforcement training, border patrol training, great relations, experts in great relations, right? And we remain constant in building homes for everyone. We build, you give. We build, you give. Okay, and they're gonna be luxury mansions. Nah, I don't. People that are not making excuses, they're building one-story homes, which is great because they understand the importance of healthcare, right? They're not making excuses. That's how they're getting funded to make bigger projects. So get with your contractors, you know, because it can't stop with them. So you just you know go into it like as an employee. You know, you're already on payroll anyways. Make sure you be there for yourselves. You know, take care of your loved ones and family along with all of us, right? So that's gonna be very great. You're gonna love your life. Oh, anyways, back to what I was saying. Everybody equally employed, everyone equally trained and skilled all over internationally. You can have year intervals where you're stationed one place with the people and all government all together, you know, stationed in retail, right? And then you can you know, be working overseas, and you can come back home the same night. We have planes, you know, and what does that also bring? In demand of that engineering job that's desperately needed. So we don't have any plane crashes. If anything's being tampered with, we'll never see that ever again. We'll never see conflict ever again in the world. We'll just become healthier than any generation before us. Very guaranteed. This is very important to know because God tells us all at the same time. And then I don't doubt God takes others in a different way of path and different wording it and different ways to go about it because there's just some value that they'll give that they have to offer the rest of us. So just let life be life. You know, you know when you see a stair, you build another stair and another stair, right, to get to the second floor. So what do you notice when you see a one-story building? You just notice you're gonna get off your vehicle and walk in, right? But when you see an apartment complex that are 3-4 stories, you know you're gonna get off and you have to walk the stairs, right? And you already knew what you were gonna have to do before approaching that building from afar. You saw the height of the building, so you already knew you were either gonna climb the stairs or take the elevator up, right? There's things like that to where that's how God communicates with all of us together. Just like how I was explaining what happens when you approach a river, and before approaching the river, you see crocodiles eating other animals, crocodiles eating somebody that just swam in the river without knowing there was crocodiles. You saw somebody, you know, fishing for the alligator and other fish. And you saw all of this faster within seconds. And all you did was like just stand in front of the river. So that's why that crossway was built, because obviously somebody went in that river and they got eaten by an alligator, or they almost got attacked by piranhas. How were you even gonna know piranhas existed if there wasn't just some, if there wasn't just somebody that, I mean, oh, man, I don't want it to happen, but how are you gonna know that like somebody was literally just enjoying their swim, like, at a barbecue or something, and then out of nowhere just get attacked by piranhas? Like, damn, dude, what a horrific day for somebody, right? Well, now we know where piranhas migrate to, where they are located, what attracts them. Do you notice? Do you notice how important constant education is? Because then all of this information is out there, just like turning a solid from a liquid. All of this information is out there, and then you are over here and your expertise is computer science, or your expertise is just building with wood and brick and cement, But there's another thing that you have to know, or your life is just threatened completely. This is why everybody in the world has always been involved, everywhere, internationally. We are stationed in safety everywhere in the world, and we're experts in great relations. I don't care what you see on the news, you never see not even one or three posts of whatever, and that's just a way of being firm so you can know like how appreciative you should be in the present day, alright? Like, know the truth, like, really, because then you're over here giving into shit, and you become just as shitty as the shit that you entertained. And now you're over here outside of your house with mad faces, or thinking like, oh no, like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, dude, come on, man, be real, you know? Like, you're breathing the same air as them. There's no other way about it. Their health reflects your health, right? So let's get on the same page now. Houses are getting old. The older they get, they collect harmful debris, and it's gonna be a health risk, okay? So you should definitely appreciate, you know, what we're all doing here for each other, and it's all from all of our families. So that's, when you go to the bank and you talk about equity, it's always a yes when they see absolutely no risk involved. So this is the definition of what I'm presenting you. The definition of no risk involved. Quality of life exceeds all expectations. Everybody's health amplifies, gets healthier than any generation before us. And we go to space with the same healthy patterns that we implemented here together. So when we lack the builders after one or two projects, when we have something firmer than ever, which is our law enforcement, military, border patrol, with the detainees in education in our facility, we prepare each other the right way instead of giving them time and letting murder just go out. We have education and reminders of, hey, that's short-lived, don't do that shit or you'll be dealt with. This way, you're gonna have a great life, right? So what does this also eliminate? It eliminates all those toxic patterns that people fall victim to, that they shouldn't have been. Why? Because we stay constant in this education, right? And now everybody gets a lovely, beautiful home. So everywhere in the world, and new construction roads, old roads being made brand new, everywhere in the world, you'll make sure you're literally in the same greatness anywhere. So, there's literally nothing else to say. Everybody's falling in love with it because it's from God. And you already know it's 100% success with literally no risk involved for nobody. And everybody just has a way better life. Instead of having just certain places great, and then you still keep on getting sick because there's other places that are not as great. So yeah, just stay focused on building and making sure everybody's in healthy living standards and making it more accessible for others to remain healthy so your life won't be at risk. God bless you.